Hello, wonderful people. Here we are. We are doing a lab and we have this data and we want to turn that data into a graph that we can put into this Word document. And we're going to use Excel to make the graph. So, how do we do this? This is meant for somebody who's never seen this before. So, here's our data, right? This is the lab. We were doing resistance versus length and we filled in these numbers. So, I want you to excuse me. I want you to select the data that we took, not the number, not the titles, just the data. So you right click on the two, and then you drag until all those cells are highlighted. Once they're highlighted, then you left click and you say copy. Okay. So now we need to paste this into Excel. So how do we get to Excel? Come down here into your search bar and type Excel, and this will pop up. Now that you can just click on Excel right there and it will open. Now, it gives you a bunch of options here. We're going to tell it to start with a blank workbook. So one click on that, and there it is. Now, I also want to point out that you could have gone into the start menu and sometimes you'll see a shortcut under E for Excel, or maybe you'll have a shortcut set up over here. But if you don't, you can always type Excel. Also, once you've done that, that recent shortcut will pop up here, so you don't have to retype it again if you don't want. Okay, so do you see this? Click on this rectangle, and there's a green highlight around it. So that's the one I've selected. That rectangle is called a cell. Now, the cell appears in a column. Do you see how it says F up there? So that F is the column of all those cells. And then there's the row, too. If you go left, right, all these cells are in the seventh row. So you've got the numbers over here telling you what row number it is, and they use letters for the columns going across. You don't need to We don't need to know that right now. I just want you to show you the basics. And so this is called a cell, that little rectangle. So pick a cell somewhere kind of over here, it can be just anywhere. And then you're going to tell it to paste. So you go up there and you click on paste. And now it takes a moment because it's got to figure out how to put the data in there. And look, it did it all automatically for us. If I click over here, now you can see that there's all our lengths 2 through 14 and the numbers that we measured. And it even brought over the bold lines so that those lines show up nice and clear. Very nice. So now I've got the data in here. Now you don't have to do this, but I'm just going to put the labels up there so that'll make it easier as I go through here and talk about this. So now how do we take this data and turn it into a chart? So first thing, you have to highlight this data. So just like before, you're going to click once, you're going to click and select. You see how I've got the green around the two now? Now I click and hold down on it, and I select all that data. And you see how it's all grayed out, and I let go, and that stays selected. So now that that's selected, we're going to come up to the menu bar, up and over, and we're going to go to Insert, and you click on Insert, and that brings this menu bar up. And now we're going to find the charts, which is right here, the fourth one over. Excuse me. And in charts, we want to find the one that says Insert Scatter. And there it is, the middle of the bottom. So if you click on that once, then this menu opens. And this tells you the different scatter plots that we can do. So we want to select this one. It says Scatter with straight lines and markers. You can see it's the one with the dots and the straight lines that connect them. So click on that once. And look, it did it automatically. It took the length across the bottom, 2 through 14, and the resistance from about 0.1 up to 0.9 on our y-axis. And yeah, pretty amazing. It does that all automatically. And then each little dot is the data point, and it drew in a line for us. Now, at this point, we're done. You can right click on this chart and then say copy, and you can paste it somewhere else. But before we do that, let's make it a little prettier. So if I click on just the chart title, I can rewrite that length. And then when I have the chart selected, if I select the chart, you see this little plus over here, I can click on that. And if I want to put titles in for the axes, I can. I think I'll just do that. So this axis, I'm going to double click in there and I'll call this resistance. And then this one down here, if I click on that, it's a text box. Click in there. I'll even put the centimeters. Okay, we're going to call this good enough. So now I select this chart, right click on it, and say copy. And now I can paste this anywhere. So I can come back over here to my Microsoft Word document and it says attach the graph. So I put my cursor there and I hit paste and wham, there it is. So those are the basics. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And I hope you found this helpful. Thank you so much. Oops, having trouble getting to the off button.